Alright guys, I'm back for Ring of Honor TV report for February 25th, 2012. Pretty good episode tonight. Good main event, good tag team match. I really like this episode of Ring of Honor. I say that every week, I know, but it's true. I really like this one. Started off, they did a recap of Charlie Haas hitting Mark again with the chair from last week, and the whole laying down $10,000 to pay for him and Shelton's fines. Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness open up the show, and they say they're going to hear from the Briscoes later. Then they cut to a promo with the Young Bucks. They talk about how they're going to use Cedric Alexander and Caprice Coleman as stepping stones till they get to wrestle the Briscoes. They show Cedric and Caprice. They talk about how the Young Bucks are next in line for the titles, and beating them will give them the push they need. Coleman says that they come in with the sports entertainment attitude and demand respect from people. And then he sings a little bit. It was weird, but it was okay. They have the match, Young Bucks versus Cedric Alexander and Caprice Coleman. I noticed that the Young Bucks are back in their mid-90s era Hardy Boys tights. For a little while they were wearing these leather tights, but it looks like now they're back with the Hardy Boys tights. This was a good match, a lot of high flying. Man, these guys, they do some dangerous shit in this match. They, like both of these teams, they do some crazy moves. But it was a great match. The Young Bucks hit the 450 and then the moonsault onto Caprice, and they get the win. I noticed that when Matt Jackson hit the moonsault, he looked like he landed right on Caprice Coleman's head, like just smashed his head in. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked, but it looked brutal on TV. Backstage we have the Embassy, and Tommaso Ciampa says he's going to take the TV title. He wants Jay Lethal to win the heavyweight title tonight so he can take it on March 4th at the pay-per-view and be the first undefeated world champion. Ciampa right now to me is boring. He could be a better guy. I think he just needs a little bit more time to develop. But right now he's a little bit boring. He does have the undefeated streak going for him. But so far the Embassy has not really shown me a lot. It's probably one of the things I don't care very much about going on in Ring of Honor right now. So I'm hoping they can step their game up a little bit and make me care a little bit more about what's going on with the Embassy and Tommaso Ciampa. The Young Bucks cut a promo on how they are undefeated in New York, and they're going to take the titles from the Briscoes. And then we have the Briscoes come out. And they're talking to Kevin Kelly. Jay says that March 4th you got Dim Boys versus Dim Lady Boys, and says that they're going to end up becoming their own personal bitches. They talk about getting the check from House of Truth that was for $5,000, but Truth canceled the check. And they said that next week, if Truth doesn't have their money, then Big Man, aka Papa Briscoe, is going to be there to beat the money out of him. So that should be interesting. They talk about how the match against the world's greatest tag team in Florida is not about the belts. That's the March 30th pay-per-view. Or 31st. They got two of them that weekend, so. But they are wrestling world's greatest tag team, and they talk about how it's not about the belts and that someone's going to get hurt. Great promo by the Briscoes. I'm a huge fan of theirs, obviously. And I think it's because that they are real characters. These guys, they're not out there doing like some crazy gimmicks and shit. They're just an exaggerated form of who they really are. And the best characters are always guys like that. Steve Austin and all those guys who people love are just exaggerated versions of their characters. So I really like the Briscoes, and this was a great promo by them as always. They show Kevin Steen against Andy Ridge from last week and Jimmy Jacobs attacking him. Then they show a Jimmy Jacobs promo backstage. It was kind of goofy. He says that him and Steve Corino thought that Kevin Steen wanted redemption, but he attacked Jimmy Jacobs and Steve Corino when they tried to help him. When he got the package pile driver at Final Battle, he learned that sometimes evil wins. and says that he still tastes that darkness inside of him. And it's going to be evil versus evil at the pay-per-view. So I guess we have another match added to the March 4th show. Kevin Steen versus Jimmy Jacobs should be awesome. I hope these guys go crazy and go all out, and we see some violence here from Kevin Steen, and I'm sure we will. So this should be a great match. I am looking forward to this one. Kevin Steen says that Jacobs cut his balls off to get his job back in Ring of Honor. He says he wants him to just beat the crap out of him at the pay-per-view. He says, I want you to make me bleed so that you can get back to that evil person you were before, because then you can finally see your true potential once you get back to the old Jimmy Jacobs. All Night Express promo, Rhett Titus says he's back from surgery early like he said he would be, and at the pay-per-view they are going to, All Night Express is going to beat the world's greatest tag team to prove that they're better than ever, and they're back on their game. So we get another match announced, All Night Express versus World's Greatest Tag Team. Should be okay. Then we have next week, they announce on Ring of Honor TV, is going to be Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong. The winner gets a title shot at the March 30th pay-per-view. Then we see Roderick with House of Truth, Truth Martini, and Michael Elgin. Roderick says that Eddie's been on a losing streak and he's going to beat him no problem. Then we see Eddie Edwards and Adam Cole backstage. They ask Eddie if he can pick a winner in tonight's main event with Jay Lethal versus Davey Richards. He says he can't pick a winner tonight, but he's hoping that, well, he says that I can't pick a winner tonight in Jay Lethal versus Davey Richards, but I think that Davey may be distracted tonight. He's got all this other stuff going on. He may just not be mentally ready to face Jay Lethal, who is a tough competitor. Adam Cole says that he will be a better partner than Kyle O'Reilly, and he will have Eddie Edwards back against House of Truth next week. Then we see, during the commercials, Kevin Kelly's talking about the Florida show pay-per-view. Kevin Steen comes up and talks about wanting a title shot. Kevin says that Jim Cornette, Kevin Kelly tells him that Cornette said, well, you'll get a title shot over his dead body, and then Steen says, well, I guess I got some killing to do. Awesome. Then we have the main event, Jay Lethal versus Davey Richards. This was a pretty good main event. They did a lot of technical moves, a lot of submissions, but it was good. And eventually Tommaso Ciampa comes out. He's got a chair, but he doesn't hit anyone. He just sits down and watches the match. If Lethal wins, then at the March 4th pay-per-view, Tommaso Ciampa gets a World Heavyweight title shot. So he's interested in the outcome of this match. There's one part where Davey's on the outside of the ring and he kind of says something to Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa gets in his face. Kyle O'Reilly runs out immediately and gets in between them, tells Davey to keep his head in the match, and Davey says, watch Ciampa. So we have Kyle O'Reilly and Ciampa out there. Then House of Truth comes out. Then Eddie Edwards and Adam Cole come out. Truth stands on the apron towards the end of the match, and Kyle comes down and pulls him down, and he starts brawling with House of Truth. Then everyone starts fighting except Tommaso Ciampa. Jay Lethal goes for the lethal injection, but Michael Elgin throws Adam Cole into the ropes, so it messes up the move. When Jay Lethal bounces back, Davey Richards hits him in the head with a kick and gets the win. They shake hands, Jay Lethal, and everybody clears out, and Jay Lethal and Davey Richards shake hands. And then we see Tommaso Ciampa on the outside. He's just pissed off, ranting and raving. Kevin Kelly says that Ciampa never touched anyone. He just sat there. He's like a stalker. And it was just a funny line the way he said it and when he said it. But that was the show, and it was pretty good. They announced, next week we get Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong for #1 contendership. That should be good. And then they announced some stuff for the pay-per-view. So overall, this was a good show. Good promos, good matches, and I really liked it. So that's it for this week. I hope everybody likes this review. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed. Rate the videos. Like them preferably. And leave some comments. and you know, I like to talk about wrestling, so leave some comments, and I will be back tomorrow with a movie review. I'm going to try and do Harold and Kumar 3 for everybody who likes my movie reviews. So thanks for watching, and bye.